Hi, this is Mad Jen with Mad as Heck, Moms and Dads Associated Society, helping to educate conservative constitutionalists. Thanks for watching. If you like what you hear, please share, please like the video. Today I'm going to make an announcement, and then after my announcement I'm going to talk about something that happened to me recently. So today's video is not really going to be very political at all. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's at all political. You may disagree, and if so, let me know. But something happened to me about a month or so ago that has changed my life forever. I will assume that it's forever. If you've seen me outside of YouTube, if you've seen me on Facebook or through my Mad as Heck website, you probably know that for many years I was an atheist. And you notice that I use that in the past tense. I was an atheist. Most people always told me that you're not atheist, you're agnostic. And I was like, no, I really don't believe that there's a God. Well, over the last month or so, I've been asking that if God is there, show yourself. And I won't go into that story because that's really not the point of my video today. But I will say that after asking God to show himself to me, he made it pretty clear that, yes, he is there. And I can no longer deny his existence in my life and his guidance, and that my life has been led by him or maybe even her. I haven't quite decided if God's male or female yet, but it's for another time. So because of this awakening, I guess you would say, I'm very passionate about conservatism. I'm very passionate about Christianity in the sense that I know Christianity's stumbled over a lot of rocks lately in the last couple of decades, where liberals and secularist culture has really attacked Christianity more so than any other religion. So because I see the value in Christianity and always have, even when I was an atheist, I always came to the rescue, so to speak, or came to the defense of Christianity. So if I'm going to defend Christianity, then I figured I need to learn a lot more about it. And having said that, I find the teaching of Christ to be a very blessed teaching. I can't find anything wrong with the teachings of Christ and the way that he taught the people, because he went against everything that even the people at that time wanted him to do. They expected the Messiah, or this God sent from heaven, or the Son of God, to cater to the upper crust and the elites and the chosen ones. But instead, Jesus Christ, what he did is he went to the lepers and the prostitutes and the sinners and women and children. Liberals, women and children. He was the first liberator of women. Isn't that something? Because he's the first one. During his time, women and children were not treated with much respect at all, and Jesus Christ sought out the women and children and blessed them and said, no, we need to listen to them and we need to bring them to God as well. So last night I went to Bible study. My first Bible study. I have a lady that I met that's been trying to get me to go for a few weeks now, maybe a month or so, and I finally did. And it was, learning about the Bible to me is beneficial whether you're Christian or not. I mean, it's a very big part of our culture and we need to learn about it. So I went, and the first part is, you sit down, you eat, and you watch this video of this lady preaching. She's like a preacher preaching to a congregation of women, and the message that she gave last night was, I appreciated that. It was the message that I just gave you, was how, John the Baptist actually lost his faith briefly because he wasn't sure that Jesus was really the chosen one, because he was out there, hanging out with prostitutes and lepers and sinners and the lowlifes, and that's not how he expected it to be. And so he was like, he questioned Jesus, are you really the chosen one? And this is what the lady was talking about in the video. So that, I really, that resonated with me. And because I've always believed in, people are the most powerful. And, if we give them the wings, then they will fly. So when we sat down, we broke up into our groups and we discussed the teaching and the lessons. And one thing bothered me about what we were talking about after we broke up into our groups. And this is why I'm making the video, because, well, it's just something I've got to talk about. I hold no ill feelings towards this group of women. They were a beautiful group of women, and they were very welcoming and warm and open. And so this is not me talking bad about anybody. This is just me questioning something that was discussed. And I'll probably bring it up next time, but I figured I'd get it off my chest now. One of the things that they talked about, they asked around the table, it's like, so what do you think about making friends with non-believers? And the general consensus was, at least to those who spoke up, was, well, it's really not a good idea to make friends with non-believers, because more times than not, this is them speaking, more times than not, the non-believer influences the believer more so than the believer influences the non-believer. And so it's just best to avoid those situations. That didn't sit well with me at all, because I'm sitting here thinking these people are strong in their faith, or at least they say they're strong in their faith. And if they're so strong in their faith, why is it that the non-believers have more influence than they do? Non-believers, don't have a faith, or their faith is that there is nothing. Why is that a stronger pull than the pull of those who are faithful? And that it just didn't make any sense to me. And I didn't say anything because I wanted to think about it first. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of thought maybe the reason why is because oftentimes, and this is another lesson that was taught in the video too, is that Jesus liked to he liked to greet people with love and understanding, and he was a kind, patient man, and he didn't judge, and he didn't look down. He treated people with love and kindness. And so my thoughts on what they said was that maybe the reason why you think that it's that way is because oftentimes today Christians spend so much time trying to save the non-believer, and they don't realize it, but oftentimes they become very judgmental, and they become very harsh in their judgments. And maybe that's why it is that the pull goes the opposite direction, because once they realize that tactic, I don't think they realize that it's a tactic that's not working. They just realize that it's not working on this non-believer. Maybe they begin to lose faith. Well, instead, if they approach these people the way Jesus did, with love, compassion, and understanding, and with a genuine love for mankind, then maybe it would be easier to convert these people, or at least get on a level playing ground with them. If the Christians that I know in my life had that philosophy that we shouldn't befriend non-believers, I would still be a non-believer. It's because of the Christians in my life who knew I was a non-believer, and they loved me anyway. They appreciated me. They let me know they appreciate me. And they didn't try to preach to me. If I had questions, they were there happy to answer the questions. They were there to provide the guidance. But they didn't push me. They didn't make demands of me. They didn't even discuss it if I wasn't in the mood to discuss it. It wasn't even a part of our friendship. They just loved me for who I was. And their gentle guidance and that gave me faith to believe that maybe God is really there, and maybe I should seek him or her. So I would like to say to those Christians who think that you should not befriend a non-believer, is that I just don't believe that that's the way Jesus would want you to do it. Now, granted, I'm a novice, and maybe what I believe or think in this regard, it doesn't hold much value. But after learning what I learned last night and the way Jesus did things, I just think it's wrong to shun those who don't believe simply because they don't believe. Now, if they act like fools, like a lot of non-believers do, I can see why you would do that. I've actually had it happen to me where Christians have used me for whatever skills or talents I might have, and then when they didn't need me anymore, they dropped me like a bad habit. And these were fundamental Christians that I would have been working with at any particular point in time. And as soon as that need for that work went away, I never heard from them again. They never called me. They never answered my calls. They never answered any of my messages. And I could only conclude that it was because they were judging me for my non-belief. And so I encourage you Christians out there that you really do win more wars with the bee and honey analogy as opposed to the lemon. You win more flies with sugar as opposed to lemons, or I don't know, whatever that saying is. Just show the non-believers patience and love like Jesus Christ, and you might win them over. And I would never recommend deliberately not being friends with an atheist simply because they're an atheist. They're humans too. They have feelings, and they have talents, and they have value in the eyes of God and Jesus Christ. So why not give them that chance? So that's my message for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, long live the Republic.